Yeah, quite a few points that you made. It's also in terms when you talk about humility and sincerity, you also talk about the ability to discern, and I think we'll come back to it because these are interesting points, because that in itself, the ability to discern, combined with what we talked about, awakened indifference and benevolent goodwill. How does one evoke it, practice it, and even stay on it and know it? So coming to you, maybe Manoj, is the interesting element is truth. Truth built in our soul and nature her mission and work. Her compassion does not blind her wisdom or turn her action from the course decreed. For the truth of things is her one concern. Knowledge her center of power, and to build our soul and nature into the divine truth, her mission and labor. Truth. As simple as it sounds, it's also not as simple. So what's your take on this? On these lines where we're saying that there is truth which is built in our soul, and our work and our nature is pursuit of this. What is your understanding, your experience, and
Thank you, Sudha, and thank you, everyone. I remember when in my early 20s, when I felt I was lost and I was searching for truth or knowledge. Even at that time, these precise definitions or vocabulary did not exist. You just have a thirst to find out, to know. And I went through reading many masters, and I remember coming across Sri Aurobindo. And this sense of entering into a vast ocean, Maheshwari. But I did not know what I was entering into, but my mind was and soul was so happy, drinking all that he was saying. I thought I understood. Later I understood that I did not. But something was pouring in. Something of that vast wisdom was pouring in. And it was much later I understood Maheshwari's presence and that vast comprehensive wisdom and that tranquil power. And over the years, I realized the more my mental interpretations, my struggle to understand through the mind, through thinking, through effort, when that is renounced and you relax into that ocean of her presence, that's when she can enter and mold the mind, take up our mental structures, dissolve them, reformat them through that tranquility. In fact, you experience that increasing peace, increasing stillness, increasing silence, and yet a growing clarity of seeing. And your mind is getting restructured. The truth of her force and light is entering and forming the mind. And that gives the strength, kind of an inner strength that is unshakable. So truth become almost like substance of your being. It gives you strength, clarity of seeing. And from there arise the action of that stillness that arise as things to do. And in that context, again, this simple words like sincerity, which is the theme of this month, I used to think that I knew the word sincerity. It is so simple. But it is only when I began to apply it in terms of, say, when you set a reference, say, to speak only truth. When you have that reference, with respect to that, sincerity become applicable. You see that you were not sincere, or you were sincere, and you're off or on the spot. Or any goal you set and commit with respect to that, the word sincerity come alive. Otherwise, we are applying the word sincerity to anything that is popping up. I am very sincere in my expressions. So from there to live sincerity with reference to that divine guidance that is coming and committing to that, and then to discover that only some parts of you are willing to be sincere, there are parts that are revolting, and to surrender them so that they are transformed by that wisdom that gently, compassionately takes up and molds, reformats, dissolves the resistance and integrates your being. An integral sincerity begins to develop. And truth become more and more of that very substance of your being. Truth become increasingly the substance that gives you very existence and tranquil. And you're standing on that, and that enables you to stand up, face the world, and truth of your being. Out of that comes the Swadharma and the law of action. The more mind is silent, better it is. And you don't rely on the mental interpretations, but more on that dynamic becoming that arise from that stillness. That substance transforming itself into word and into action. So that's how I look at it.